is the main sort of priority within, but we represent all kinds of users. If you want to find out more about us, we publish a monthly free newsletter and things like that. The website is up there, cyclecheltenham.org.uk. We also curate the Cheltenham Cycle Map, which some of you have already collected from our stand as well, and that's free to download from the website or grab some. We're always desperate to get rid of them. And we provide a voice of local cyclists as well to consultations, campaigns and other things that are going on around the region. I've got 3 messages I want to try and squeeze into what is now 4 minutes left. The first is that Cheltenham is already a great place to cycle and loads of people already do. And we need to start with that conversation with the sort of people that work and live in this town. That encouraging cycling is brilliant for everyone, even if you're not the person on the bike. That's the second message. And the third is that all of us have got a part to play if we want to see that change. So, personal story, Cheltenham is where I fell in love with cycling initially and then have got sucked into cycling campaigning over the last 10 years. I moved to Cheltenham with a bike that had moved house twice without the wheels going round, but have now got back into it because of what we have locally. We're, sort of, I guess really as a town, have the potential actually to be a real exemplar town for active travel. There's lots in our favour. A quarter of us already cycle in some form every month in Cheltenham. About 10% of us cycle at least 3 times a week at the moment. So it's already a town where people are cycling. So that's a kind of a great start. It's a comfortable size for most places to be reachable. It's relatively flat. And we have higher than average numbers of people, mentioning no names as to employers, but who live near to their workplace in Cheltenham. And that has other benefits as well in terms of distances. And whilst we've got quick fixes that we've been waiting for too long, and we've got some obvious gaps in the network that many of you may well already know, we do have the basics of an all-ability network that could very quickly be developed into something that is amazing, and that's part of what our campaign focuses on. Increasing the numbers of people who are cycling around town has benefits for absolutely everyone. If you are a local employer, that's why you're here today, there is robust evidence that people who cycle to work are happier, they're healthier, they're more motivated and they're more productive in the workplace. You have less pressure on your land because car spaces are obviously very hungry in terms of space around the premises, and it's an easy win, as we touched on briefly earlier through Zella, with your Scope 3 carbon emissions as well. If you're a business, crudely, someone like me is easy pickings as a customer. We can easily trip chain, get distracted, stop, pop in, grab something and browse. And again, the high street research shows that per visitor to a high street, cyclists are higher spenders than motor vehicle users. So actually we're kind of easy pickings from a business model point of view as well. If you're worried about people buying washing machines, it's okay. None of us buy washing machines every week, and other delivery models are available for those big ticket items, but actually it's a big customer base to appeal to. You can shop by cycle, as I say, and I think I would say if you walk around the town centre, ignore how busy the cycle racks already are at your peril in that in terms of being sort of a local consumer. Finally, as well on that, I've had a couple of conversations already. Don't miss the innovations that are happening in cycle logistics as well at the moment. The latest data, for example, is showing certainly in big urban centres that cycle logistics are more effective and more cost efficient for delivering parcels for last miles deliveries, and actually it's becoming a key differentiator for customer choice in terms of how your business delivers and works around towns as well. So don't miss the opportunity to be ahead on that. And indeed, actually, sort of Pete's Bike Outside is a good example of where businesses are beginning to think, how can we do things differently around town? If you're a local councillor, for example, or a local community leader, obviously reducing car volumes has benefits for air quality and noise levels, it reduces road harm and congestion, and it releases carriageway space for those who do need to use it, be that public transport or essential users. One thing I would say, and we still seem to be learning this lesson after 50 years, is we cannot innovate and build our way out of congestion with bigger and bigger roads. We need less cars, not better cars, if we're going to improve the street environment in our city. And finally, I'd say if you're a local resident, if you're here out of curiosity, about 14% on average between us of our transport, sort of our carbon emissions, comes from our transport. And so switching out journeys to cycling can make a big difference on that. You can also obviously save a lot of money. It's more reliable journey times. I've got it down to about 10 seconds now to get into the station, getting on a train. I don't have to worry about parking spaces and things like that. And it improves your physical and mental health. And actually, just crudely, Cheltenham is just downright beautiful to cycle around sometimes. It has some wonderful spots to discover and see and hear and observe, and you'll enjoy that so much more than if you're crawling through in traffic. So, what can we do to get there? So this is the last little bit. If you're a business, make cycling welcome is the first thing to say. Install decent cycle parking, which means secure stands that cyclists can lock their frame to. Don't do that, wrong way. Going that way. Don't do this. If you've got these outside and you wonder why no one uses them, or why one twit always locks their bike across the middle of it, if you don't ride, you may not realise cycle insurers will only cover a bike if the frame is locked, not if the wheel is locked. So all this is doing is damaging my wheels. I won't use it. I love the fact that cycling defies sometimes big expensive innovations. You know what? Sheffield stands, the things that just go up across and down, brilliant. Install those well, people will use them. So the first thing to do is to do that. Put it somewhere accessible, put it somewhere that's observed, make sure you advertise, you've got it, people will use it. If you're an employer, think about facilities as well, like lockers and a shower and things like that, and just help your staff connect so that they can buddy up and discover rides together, meet the people who are already cycling with those who are less confident as well. If you're a bigger business or part of a bigger sort of a business chain, have a look and think about things like pool bikes and e-bikes and things like that. And I know Think Travel, who I think is speaking a little bit later, and certainly got a stand outside. Again, fantastic initiatives kind of to talk with your staff about how you can do that kind of thing as well. Cycle to Work scheme, which gives you a very tax efficient way of renting and owning a bike. Again, fantastic to have a go at. We as a campaign, and indeed other organisations around, are always happy to have a chat with you. If you want to talk about how can we get more people cycling in our workplace, just come along and have a chat to us at one of our monthly events, and we'd love to kind of connect with you on that. If you're a councillor, a community leader involved in your community, remember that your highways budget covers all modes, not just cars. We've got a campaign wish list you'll find on our website, what we think are some of the key interventions that will be those local differences that make a difference. Get out and ride the streets with your residents and with your community groups. Discover their challenges through their eyes. At a strategic level, permeability particularly is a word we use a lot in the campaign that really matters. And what that means is that well-built separated routes have a place, but actually if people are scared in their local streets and aren't able to reach those routes, then you don't yield the benefits of them. We can't build a separated route down every road, and so the conversation as a town is how do we create local places and streets that are calm enough that everyone feels welcome to cycle. And there is great guidance out there that you'll again find a link from our website on what that looks like. And a final personal plea, please don't focus all of your efforts when you're in that space, and indeed this is true for employers as well, but persuading your staff to dress up like two-wheeled Christmas trees with a day glow finish on the top. There's very little evidence it makes any difference at all actually and presents another barrier. So again, focus on the things that really matter, enabling people to cycle comfortably and road harm reduction on that side of things. And then finally, actually, I would just say that if you are a local resident and you're just sort of someone here to find out about it today, just give it a go. Or if you're already giving it a go, give it a go, but go a bit further. There are just moments of pure joy travelling around. I mean, there are moments of frustration, but there are moments of pure joy cycling around Cheltenham. It is a great place already to go. I love being out on my own, with my family, with friends and those kind of things as well. And actually, I would hope all of you, and those that you connect with through your workplaces, actually are able to kind of enjoy those moments. Talk to your local councillors. That's another thing you can do as a resident. Remind them that you want to be using the roads in that way. Talk to those who sort of work with your business and do the same. And of course, I'm about to say, sign up to our free newsletter as well as a campaign, because that's one of the ways to keep in touch with the stuff that's going on. The strength we would say is that we have as a campaign and how we can support you is that we represent every type of cycle user that you will come across in the town, and actually that gives us a real insight into how we can help, be it a workplace or a local area. We've got a stand out the back as well, if you want to come and have a chat with us as well. And I'm going backwards in time. So there we go. Lovely. Thank you very much.